Greetings, friends, crew member of our beloved, polluted, and unique spacecraft, which, since the last time we met, has taken another turn about its emergency access and, of course, continues creating events in full development.
Algunos de ellos en situaciones lejanas, otros muy interesantes en nuestra latitud y longitud.
Some are quite interesting, as the ones that we will soon see.
Y la fluidez de los cambios,
and the events
por ejemplo,
that are taking place, for example,
de
the British project of withdrawing from the European Union, the so-called Brexit, that's legendary by now, it is still part of the news. And this is not the only thing. So today, we were at the International Airport Simón Bolívar. I was there in those beautiful white swans that come from Russian technology, from technology of Soviet times, a strategic bombing of worldwide scope, and some jets that look like attacking planes. So we follow planes because we're members of the Air Force and we love this, and we had the chance to be there today. So we're going to take a look at the image and speak about them. So let's take a look at the events in full development. And we will tell you what's happening around the world. This is the British Parliament, and this is the Chamber of the Commons.
To ensure in that all-important border completely frictionless trade, but I wouldn't accept it's the only way to do this. And whilst it is recognized in the
vocero de lo que sería el ministro de Interior nuestro,
the Minister of the Interior says it's a way to guarantee that they can act without friction. It's not the only way to do it. And they're speaking, of course, about the Brexit and the support agreement. It's something that has been there before. There are other ways of reaching the goal, and we should take a look at all possible options. So David continues speaking and mentions this agreement means to regain control of our money, our borders, our laws, and protecting employment, our security, our beloved union. And for the first time in a generation, we'll be able to build an immigration system that is made in Great Britain and it's only for our interests. It's not only protected by the citizens of the European Union, but also the ones who live in the UE, and also fulfills the duty of the government. A spokesperson of the Parliament said the ministers are asking the House to sign an agreement that no one is happy with. They want us to vote for an agreement where there are so many crucial topics, special security, are not clear, and they're asking us to vote for a dangerous agreement against our economy and security. The more we look into it, the more clear it becomes that the Chamber cannot support it.
Cuando se ponen de pie, dice, ya es en voto de aprobación verbal, ya, ¿no? Extraoficial. El ex ministro de gobierno Sam J.
Mac, former minister of government, said, I resigned because I mentioned that this is the most important vote of my political career, and the members of the chamber should decide what to do. But for me, national interest is not being attended, voting for the motion of the government.
I should start off by saying that I've always been
Justin Greening,
conservative lawyer, mentioned, I believe that this House should be able to have this practical agreement in clear. Now we're facing the people, and that's why we should have a popular vote. This agreement has joined the members of the opposition. No one is get what they want. There's no commitment. The opposition, everyone goes ahead. The Prime Minister, and this is a virtue, but it's actually the opposite, especially taking a path in their own way that will take us to the first step.
Nobody gets what they want. That's not compromise. Opposition on all fronts to the Prime Minister's deal isn't a virtue. It's the opposite. It's going in exactly the wrong way, and it will take us back to square one.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Muy poco quórum hoy en la Cámara de los
Very little
Comunes,
quorum in the House of Commons,
estamos hablando de temas muy importantes.
even though some important topics were addressed today.
And the Republic of
Las
Ireland.
veces que estuve allí no cabía un alma.
When I was
Bueno,
there,
Mark Sharper, hablando,
it was
consejero
full.
conservador,
a
para mí
conservative
está claro
counselor
que si
said,
el respaldo se
"For me, it's
mantiene
clear,
del acuerdo, la
if
primera
support
ministra no
continues
podrá
being there
hacerlo
for
a
the
través
agreement, then the
de
Prime
la
Minister will
casa.
not be able to do so through the House of the
Casa de la
Commons.
Cámara. Si ella es derrotada, si el
If she's
gabinete es
defeated,
derrotado, es el acuerdo del gabinete, no solo de la
Then
primera
it's agreement
ministra.
of the cabinet
Si
and
se
not the
derrota el
Prime
acuerdo del
Minister.
gabinete
If
la
they
próxima
defeat the
semana, creo
agreement,
que debería ir al Consejo
I think that this should
Europeo
go to European
a fines de la
Council
próxima semana y decir que cualquier acuerdo
and
con el
mention that
respaldo
any
no va
agreement
a pasar
with
por
this
esta
support will
casa,
not go
deberían volverlo a pensar.
through this House, and they
Bueno,
should
el
rethink
Brexit
it.
en crisis
Well, the
debido a
Brexit
que la
facing a
primera
crisis
ministra
because
británica
the
del
Prime
Reino Unido,
Minister, Theresa
puede
May,
retirar el acuerdo de salida del Reino
could
Unido de la Unión
withdraw the
Europea.
Brexit from the EU.
El presidente del Consejo Europeo,
The
Donald Tusk,
President
dice
of
que
the
el
European
acuerdo de
Council,
retiro no
Donald Tusk,
estará
mentioned that
para
the
la
agreement will not be there
renegociación.
for renegotiating this.
Donald Tusk dice,
Donald Tusk mentioned
el acuerdo, bueno, aquí el secretario de Comercio Internacional, Ian Fox, le sale al
Ian
paso a
Fox
Donald Tusk y dice, el acuerdo de
said
retiro, si somos capaces de lidiar con
the
la ansiedad
Brexit,
del respaldo,
if we
francamente,
are
es el
able to
único
deal
que
with the
parece que podría
anxiety,
tener una mayoría
could
en
be
la
the
Cámara de
only
los
one
Comunes,
with a
la
majority
Cámara
in
que
the
acabamos
House
de
of
ver.
Commons.
Y si en ella la mayoría de la Cámara de los
And if the
Comunes,
majority of
digo
the
algo
House
nuevo,
of
tenemos dos
Commons
opciones.
mentions something new, then we have
Traicionamos a
two
los
options.
votantes
Either we
por el
betray our
Brexit,
voters,
lo que creo que es un
and
impensable
I think
democrático,
that
y dejamos a
cannot
la
be
Unión
accepted
Europea sin
democratically,
acuerdo,
and we
la
leave
gente tendrá que
the
aceptar
EU
que esa es
without
la
an agreement,
realidad en
then
la que
people have
enfrentamos y
to
tendrán que tomar
believe
una
that this is
decisión
the reality we're
cuando esa
facing and have
votación
to make a
finalmente
decision
vuelva,
when
porque
this
va a tener que volver a
voting
la Cámara de los Comunes.
will finally return to the House of the Commons.
When we had that referendum, we didn't ask for a consultation, we asked for an instruction. And I think it would be unthinkable for Parliament to defy the will of the
Bueno,
electorate.
y Liam Fox dice, hablamos del referéndum, ¿no? Cuando
We speak
tuvimos
about the
el
referendum.
no
When we
tuvimos la
had the
consulta,
referendum,
pedimos
we
una
did
instrucción, y
not
creo que sería
have a
impensable que el
consultation. We
Parlamento
asked for
desafíe la
instructions,
voluntad del
and the
electorado de esa
Parliament should
manera,
not defeat the
por lo
will
que creo
of
que es
the
una
electors.
consecuencia
That's why
democráticamente
I think it's an
inaceptable. La
unacceptable
otra sería
condition
dejar a la Unión
democratically.
Europea sin
The other
ningún
one would
acuerdo
be
que
to
pueda causar
withdraw
una interrupción.
the EU
No hay
without
duda
any
al
agreement,
respecto, tanto al Reino Unido
and this
como
will lead to an
nuestros socios
interruption,
comerciales.
both
En Europa
for the
continental,
UK
eso
and our
no es una
commercial
ventaja para
partners,
nadie.
and this is
Así que creo que está muy
no
claro que ambos
advantage for
queremos lo
anyone.
mismo.
So we
Los
both
términos
want the
de
same
Irlanda del
thing.
Norte, no
The
hay
terms of
sorteadura.
Northern
Debemos
Ireland,
encontrar otra forma en la
we
que
need to find
francamente mis
another way
colegas y personas como
where
yo
my colleagues and people like me
no tengan dudas del respaldo para
will be
estar
sure
tranquilos.
about the support in order to be calm.
That there must be compromise, but the state of Northern Ireland is an
Y ahora otros miembros del Parlamento
Other members of the Parliament
dicen, como
said,
Jim Shannon,
as Jim
el
Shannon,
ministro dije durante una de sus declaraciones anteriores
the
que
Prime
Irlanda del
Minister
Norte
said in some
no
of her
será
statements,
su
Northern Ireland will
sacrificio.
not be a
Usted ha dicho que
sacrifice.
debe haber un compromiso,
There should
pero
be
el
a
Estado de Irlanda
commitment
del Norte
that the state of
es un
Northern
absoluto,
Ireland is an
y eso
absolute
ha
state,
tenido un lugar no aceptable.
and this is
Lamentablemente,
not
el primer
acceptable.
ministro,
Unfortunately, the Prime
una de sus
Minister
palabras hoy tranquiliza a esta
none of
Cámara,
her
y
words
la brecha de desconfianza entre usted
make
y
it
el
clear,
DUP ha de convertirse en
and
un
this should
apoyo más
become
grave. La mayoría del Reino Unido pide al primer ministro
tougher.
que haga
The
lo que se le
majority
pidió,
wants the
que
Prime
abandone
Minister
la Unión
to do
Europea
what
cuando
was
entramos en ella
requested,
sin
to
respaldo.
withdraw the EU.
Bueno, la primera ministra británica Theresa May
Prime
abandona el
Minister Theresa
Parlamento
May
después de
leaving the
poner voto
Parliament
sobre el acuerdo de salida de la Unión
after voting on the
Europea, después de
Brexit
posponer el voto, ¿no?
and
Es una
postponing
maniobrita en
this
manejo del
vote.
tiempo.
It's a maneuver for
Y
her
el
to
vehículo
manage
que
time.
transporta a la primera
The
ministra Theresa
vehicle
May a través de la
transporting
salida
Theresa
de
May
Downing Street, la residencia tradicional del primer
is the
ministro,
traditional residence of the
famosa
Prime
de la
Minister,
época, especialmente de Churchill, ¿no?
very famous
La
during
primera
Churchill's
ministra
time.
Theresa May sale
Prime
de la
Minister
Casa de los
Theresa May,
Comunes del Parlamento
live in the House of
Británico
the
en medio de
Commons,
gritos de personas que esperaban fuera
listening
del
to
Parlamento
people
respecto a la
outside of the
señora May,
Parliament after
abruptamente
Theresa
pospusiera
May
el voto parlamentario de su
postponed the
acuerdo
parliamentary
sobre el
vote
Brexit,
of her agreement on
lanzando
Brexit,
ello un plan de los británicos de
creating a
salir de la
plan
Unión
of the
Europea
Brits to
como
leave
un caos.
the EU as a part of chaos.
En víspera de la agenda del voto parlamentario, ahora sí,
Waiting for the
esa es la
agenda
Cámara
of
de
the
los Comunes
parliamentary
cuando las
votes.
papas queman.
This is
Todo
the
lleno.
Chamber of the Commons, now
Parlamento
at
del Reino
full.
Unido,
The Parliament of the
el
Kingdom,
ponente de la casa, Jan Bercow,
Jan
dice,
Bercow,
antes de mirar al
said,
padre de la casa y luego otros colegas, quiero decir lo siguiente.
before this, I would
Aunque
like
la
to
intención
say
del gobierno de
something.
celebrar
Even though
este
the
debate
intention
en
of the
esta
government
etapa
to have this
excesivamente
debate at this
tardía
moment,
ha sido
which is
ampliamente
extremely
filtrada a
late,
los
has been
medios de
filtered
antemano,
and leaked to the
sentí que solo
media,
es
I
apropiado que
believe
se
that's
escuche lo que se
appropriate
propone antes de asesorar a la
to
Cámara.
say
De
what's proposed before advising the chamber. After 164 colleagues contribute, then a lot of members will consider that it's not correct.
To be deeply discourteous.
Sugiero adecuadamente
I
y
suggest
educadamente que cualquier ambiente cortés, respetuoso
that
y
any
maduro que permita
courteous
a la
and
Cámara
respectful
opinar su
environment
opinión
will
sobre
allow
este
the chamber
asunto
to
es
express their
correcto.
opinion in
Y
this
me atrevo
event
a
is
decir que en
correct.
el curso obvio a seguir es ese.
And the obvious
Veamos
course
si
to
los que han
follow is
asegurado en esta
this.
casa y al público una y otra
Let's
vez
see
que este voto sumamente
if
importante
those
tendría lugar
who
mañana
have
sin
spoken
dejar de
about
querer
this taking
estar a la
place
altura de la
tomorrow
ocasión.
will do so following the moments needed.
House and the public over and over and over again that this supremely important vote is going to take place tomorrow without fail, wish to rise to the occasion. Cable.
Con el fiasco de hoy, el gobierno
With
realmente
today's
ha perdido la
fiasco, the
autoridad.
government
Mis
has
colegas y yo
lost
apoyaremos
authority. My
plenamente al
colleagues
líder
and
de la
myself will
oposición.
support the
Si
leader
ahora
of the
procede voto de
opposition.
confianza, como seguramente lo exige el
If a
deber
vote of
que lo
confidence
dice,
is required,
Mr.
as duty
Cable,
demands.
el líder de los demócratas liberales.
This
de la
was
Unión
mentioned
Proeuropea
by
de
the
Bretaña.
leaders of the Democrats of the pro-European.
Bueno, Alemania no ve ningún cambio posible.
Germany
en el
does
trato
not
del
see
Brexit.
any possible change in the Brexit.
Ministro alemán Heiko Maas, hablando
Heiko
con los
Maas
reporteros sobre el
spoke to
Brexit,
journalists about
y
Brexit
dice, "Ha
and
habido
said,
tantas negociaciones
there's been
en los
so
últimos
many
meses,
negotiations during the
negociaciones
last
difíciles,
months, tough
y el
negotiations, and the
resultado al que ambas
result
partes contribuyeron. No
that
puedo
both
ver en
parties
este
contributed
momento lo
to.
que
I
podría
cannot
cambiar.
see now what could
Estamos siguiendo de
change.
cerca los
We're following
acontecimientos
the
en
events
Londres
closely in
y
London,
queremos un Brexit, pero
and we
ordenado.
want an ordered Brexit.
Das haben wir zur Kenntnis genommen. Ich glaube aber nicht, dass das die aktuellen politischen Bemühungen wesentlich beeinflussen wird.
Y luego continúa
And then
el
he
ministro de
added,
Asuntos Extranjeros de Alemania, con respecto a la decisión del Tribunal
based
de
on the
Justicia de las
decision
Comunidades Europeas,
of
hemos
the
tomado
Court
nota
of
de esto,
European
pero no
Community
creo
is
que
taking note of
influya
this, but I don't think this will
significativamente en los
significantly
esfuerzos
influence
políticos actuales
the political
para llevar a
efforts
cabo el Brexit de
in
manera
order
ordenada
to
con un
continue
acuerdo.
with the Brexit in an
Y eso
orderly
es en
fashion with an
interés de todos
agreement.
para nosotros,
This is for the best
aquí en
interest of
Europa y
all,
para el Reino
here in
Unido.
Europe and
Espero que
for
las
the
decisiones que deben
UK.
tomarse en
The
Londres
decisions that need to be
sean
made in London
responsables.
will
Por
hopefully
lo
be
tanto,
honest and
todavía
responsible.
creemos que lo que está sobre la mesa
We
es lo
believe
que
that
tenemos
what's
que
on the
tomar.
table is the agreement that we should reach.
El ministro de Exteriores de Alemania dice
The
que no
Minister
hay
for
una
Defense of
posibilidad
Germany
clara.
said
¿Qué
that
vemos
there
acá?
is no clear possibility.
Probablemente el Brexit se venda en medio de una situación
Maybe the
confusa en
Brexit will
Londres,
take
dice
place with a
Francia.
confusing situation in London, according to France.
Ce dernier développement ne doit pas nous faire...
Habla la ministra de Asuntos Europeos de Francia, Nathalie
The Minister of
Loiseau.
European Affairs
Estos últimos desarrollos no deben
mentioned
hacernos perder de
this
vista el hecho de
development
que el rechazo del acuerdo de
should
retiro
not
es
take
cada
our
vez
side
más
away,
probable, al igual
that the
que el
Brexit
riesgo
is
de una
most
salida
likely,
sin acuerdo,
just like
y una salida sin duda sería
a withdrawal
extremadamente
without an
costosa para el
agreement. It
Reino
will be
Unido,
extremely costly for
pero
the
lo que
UK,
también perjudicaría a la Unión
but it
Europea.
will also
Algunos están elaborando otros escenarios y
be
la
against the
confusión en
EU.
Londres
Some are creating
sigue
scenarios and
particularmente
confusion in
fuerte.
London is still strong.
Scénario et la confusion à Londres reste particulièrement forte.
Nathalie Loiseau dice,
Nathalie
se han
Loiseau
explorado
said,
todas las opciones técnicas,
we've charted all technical options.
Explorés,
se han respetado todas las
We've
prioridades
respected
políticas.
all political priorities.
ont été respectés.
No hay otro acuerdo posible.
There's not any other possible agreement.
Lo digo frente a ustedes
And
como
I
se
say
lo
this
decimos
in
a
front of
nuestros
you,
amigos en Gran Bretaña,
as
y
we
este
do
acuerdo es
this
un buen
with our
acuerdo.
friends in Great Britain. This is a good
Et
agreement.
cet accord est un bon accord.
Bueno, la historia es que una salida británica costosa de la Unión
So,
Europea
a
siendo un
costly
acuerdo
Brexit
negociado cada
would
vez más
be
probable, dijo el lunes el ministro
a
de
negotiated agreement.
sobre la Oda a la Alegría, un clásico de
Ode
los
to Joy,
clásicos.
classical
Los
anthem,
manifestantes cantan.
demonstrators
Y
singing,
varias manifestaciones cantan la Oda a la Alegría, la etiqueta
and
el
they sing
comaje,
the
el
Ode to
vehículo con
Joy.
la bandera de la
There's
Unión
a
Europea en la
vehicle with the
bolsa de la
flag of the
guitarra,
European Union,
música para leer en serio a la mano, varios manifestantes que tratan de cantar cada uno a
demonstrators
su manera.
trying to sing.
Algunos dicen, usando la música muy clásica, la letra dice, no hay oferta, no hay problema. Y en el chaleco
No
algunos
offer,
dicen,
no
"Gracias por la
problem.
música".
Thanks for the
Permanezcan
music.
protestando en Cape Cod.
Continue protesting.
Creo que ella, la primera ministra
I
británica,
think she's
Theresa May,
scared.
está asustada. Ella sabe que va a perder.
She
y
knows
creo
she's
que
going to
postergar
lose,
eso
and I
es
think
muy
that
peligroso porque el tiempo
delaying this
está
is
trabajando
dangerous
y eso
because
nos
time
deja cada
is
vez
going
más
by,
cerca de estrellarnos
and we're
sin ningún
closer
acuerdo.
to
Así que creo que es muy
hit
irresponsable.
something without an
Peter
agreement.
France dice, creo que postergar
He
la
said, I
decisión del
think
acuerdo solo
that
empeorará
delaying
las
the
cosas
decision
porque
will only
habrá más
worsen things
incertidumbre y
because there's going to be more
Básicamente tenemos
uncertainty
un
and
gobierno
stability.
débil y sin timón.
We have
Necesitamos algún
a
tipo
weak
de
government.
resolución
We
y
need
un
some
cambio
kind of
hacia adelante con un
resolution
camino claro.
and some changes.
Bueno, varios con globos que representan a la Unión
People with
Europea,
balloons representing
banderas
the
del Reino
EU,
Unido
flags
y
of
la
the
Unión
UK
Europea,
and the
la
European
Unión de
Union,
Estados Europeos, desde luego representados aquí también,
represented
los
here
globos.
as well with the
Y
balloons.
varios protestantes con una
And
abertura de
some
bandera en inglés que
demonstrators
dice salir significa salir.
with
una
some
vez.
signs stating means
Queman
leave.
una pequeña bandera de la Unión Europea
Small
que
link,
dice en inglés pueden
burning
llevarse
a
todo
flag.
el lote con ellos.
They can take everything with them.
Salir significa salir. Dice.
Leave means leave.
Bueno, quema el simbolito de la Unión Europea.
Burning the symbol of the
Salvemos
European
la
Union.
democracia.
Let's save
Está
democracy.
Brexit.
I'm frustrated. I think we need to move.
Estoy frustrado.
I'm
Creo que debemos
frustrated.
avanzar
I think we
rápidamente.
need to
El
move on
tiempo se está
quickly.
acabando, el
Time
reloj
is running
ya
out.
no tiene más tiempo.
The clock is
Esto es
ticking.
como una estrategia para que continúen
It
poniéndose en
seems
una
to be a
situación en la que
strategy to
resulta que
impose a
estamos
situation
aceptando
where
el
we are
acuerdo que no
accepting
queremos
the agreement that
porque
we
nos
don't
estamos
want
quedando sin tiempo
because
para lo que
we're running
deberíamos
out of
estar
time
haciendo,
for the
lo
thing that
cual
we
es
should be
un
doing.
buen acuerdo, que es lo que queríamos.
And we wanted to have a
Votamos
good
para dejar la
agreement.
Unión Europea,
We voted
no
to leave
votamos
the
para
EU.
obtener un buen
We
acuerdo
didn't
con la Unión
vote
Europea.
to have an agreement with them.
Crack on with it now. She's promised she'd do it.
Dianne dice, creo que esto es un mal
I
espectáculo.
think
Creo
that
que
this is
deberían
not
seguir
nice to
adelante.
see. They
Ella
should
prometió que lo
progress.
haría,
She
está
promised to do
retrocediendo
so,
otra vez.
and now she
Personalmente me gustaría
is
ver
going
que la votación
backwards.
siga adelante.
I would
Me
like to
gustaría
see the
verla
voting going
perder la
forward. I would
votación.
like to see her
Me gustaría
losing
verla
the election.
renunciar.
I would like to
Y me
see
gustaría un
her
nuevo líder del Partido
resigning, and I
Conservador.
would like a new leader for the Conservative Party.
Siguen con la Oda de la Alegría.
Continuing with the Oath of Joy.
Varias lecturas que apoyan
Some
banderas
signs.
en inglés. Voto, pero el voto de las personas.
People's vote.
El legendario edificio del Parlamento. y
The
todo el mundo
legendary
allí
building of the
haciendo
Parliament and
su
all the
ejercicio
people
de
there
demostración.
providing
Creo
their
que están asustados porque saben que
demonstration.
van a perder.
They're scared because they
También hay
think they will
estudiantes de
lose.
secundaria
There are
detenidos
also
del
students
otro
who
lado del Canal de la
have
Mancha
been
en París, mientras
apprehended
continúan
in
los
Paris
disturbios. Estudiantes
while
de la escuela
protest
secundaria,
continues.
ministro de
The
Educación
students
pide a la
of the
policía
high school,
medir la respuesta con la que están
the Minister of
tratando a los
Education
estudiantes.
asked the police officers to measure
Mucho gas
the way in
lacrimógeno.
which they're
La
repressing
policía
students.
detiene estudiantes de
Tear
escuelas
gas,
secundarias
the police
y
apprehending
Edgar Quinet
students, another Quinet
y de Bordeaux, Francia,
from Bordeaux,
se
France,
quejaba y dice, sé que están
was
tratando
complaining
con
and
mucha
he said,
atención a su servicio
I
de
know
atendimiento de estudiantes
that
de
they're
secundaria.
looking
Esto es
into
difícil.
what they're doing, and
Ahora,
this is tough to do.
El que salió a dar la cara también fue el ministro de Educación.
Now, the Minister of
Laurent
Education
Nunez no tenía otra opción.
also showed
Sé que
his
están
face and
prestando
said,
mucha
I know
atención
that
con
they're
sus
paying
servicios
attention
al
with their
movimiento de
services
estudiantes
to
de
the movement
secundaria,
of secondary
lo cual
students,
es algo difícil y
and it's
complicado de
difficult
tratar.
to
Había
manage.
por ahí una patadita por elevación a los medios de comunicación.
Also speaking about the
Cette
media,
partie avec l'ensemble de vos équipes au mouvement des lycéens, qui sont toujours difficiles à gérer, compliqués. Ce sont des jeunes qui ne connaissent pas parfois les codes de la manifestation.
Estos jóvenes que no siempre conocen las reglas de las protestas pueden darse cuenta fácilmente
these young
sobre la
people don't
violencia
always
masiva.
know the rules
Por lo que
of
necesitamos controlar
demonstrations,
todo esto
so
y
we need to
responder
control
de la
all of
manera
this
más
and
proporcionada
answer in the
posible.
best possible
Hay
way.
autoridades allí, ¿no? Se ven los
There are some authorities there.
Policías antimotines en el pavimento.
Anti-riot
escuela
police,
secundaria en plena erupción
secondary
volcánica.
school.
La policía de París arrestó a varios estudiantes de secundaria que
The
estaban
police
bloqueando el
apprehended
acceso a
some
la escuela
students
secundaria
blocking the
Edgar
access
Quinet
to
en el
this
distrito
school
9 de la capital.
in District 9 of the
Y de
capital,
acuerdo con un
Paris.
periodista de
According
Reuters, en la
to our
escena,
Reuters
al menos
journalist who
5
was there,
estudiantes
at
fueron
least
detenidos
5
y
students
esposados
were
por la policía,
apprehended and handcuffed by the
incluida una
police,
niña de 14 años,
including a
una adolescente.
14-year-old girl,
La
just a
policía
teenager.
antidisturbios roció gas lacrimógeno
The
a
anti-riot
todos los
police
estudiantes.
sprayed tear gas to all
Y los
students,
manifestantes destruyen
and the
carros en
demonstrators
París,
destroyed cars in Paris.
vuelcan automóviles,
They have turned
hacen toda
cars
seña de
upside
protesta y
down.
siguen los chalecos
They're protesting, and they
fluorescentes,
continue showing
fluorescentes, ¿eh?
their yellow vests that all drivers must have in their cars. On Saturday 8, the city was taken over by the Yellow Vests. Colin Legendre, who filmed this video, told Reuters that it was filmed near the Arc de Triomphe. Some people sacked a store in Bordeaux. Some said that they were students and tried to steal some things. Demonstrations with a severe impact in the economy, according to the French Minister of Finance, Bruno Le Maire, who said that demonstrations have an important impact in the economy of France. People speak about the economic impact of protests.
L'impact sur l'économie française, il est sévère.
El impacto de las protestas de chaleco amarillo en la economía francesa es grave.
The impact of demonstrations is tough. I cannot have an exact assessment. I will do so in the following days, and I will assess the loss of income, according to Bruno Le Maire.
El ingreso a las empresas y más global sobre el Producto Interno Bruto también hay impacto. Debemos esperar una nueva desaceleración del crecimiento económico a final del año.
What will happen at the end of the year with the economic growth due to the circumstances that have just taken place.
Tensión en todas partes, cámaras de seguridad, gente tratando de proteger sus comercios, blindando los vidrios.
People armoring their businesses and also using other things. I think they're trouble news for the French economy, for business owners, as well as for small and medium-sized business, for crafters, for all those who wanted to have more income and pay their employees who will not be able to pay. And these are terrible news for the French economy, so we should end this as fast as possible. People there with their shopping bags. Big boutiques, insuring their glasses. He said, we are only in Paris for 3 days, so it's a pity for us to be here and not be able to take advantage of this time for Christmas shopping. And said, I think it's a shame that all business owners have to go through this. I know that Yellow Vests are angered, and that's acceptable. However, their actions are not responsible considering the difficult times that we're going through. We want more power, and now the business owners are the ones losing. Graffiti, asking free representation, shattered glass. The French minister visits Bordeaux. That was part of the mutiny of the Yellow Vests, meeting some police officers of Bordeaux. And in this event, the Minister of the Interior spoke to the prefect of the Gironde, Didier Abbott.
Ce qu'il convient de faire, mais c'est ce que nous avons fait samedi dernier.
Now, what we did last Saturday in Bordeaux, Paris, and all the big cities to deploy police officers that move with a group of hooligans, because the movement of the Yellow Vests has now been infiltrated by hooligans that are there to destroy things, sack stores, attack the security forces, and sometimes both at the same time. So the teams deployed have been reactive. They moved at the same time than the demonstrators, and they were apprehended. We intel many of them. Over 60 people were arrested. This is the Apple store. A lot of people tried together to steal some Apple equipment. The mayor, walking with Nunes, the prefect. Take a look at that. Stealing everything they can at Apple Store, security cameras, taking pictures of them. They were, of course, covering their faces with balaclavas. Demonstrators, some with yellow vests, had stolen merchandise at the Apple Store, and the Minister of the Interior mentioned this is a problem of the government and it should be treated as such. Mainly in Paris, cleaning the streets on the Champs-Élysées and protection as well for the people and the merchandise. This has created a small political crisis. The Arc de Triomphe, that includes the name of Francisco Miranda, and the surroundings are chaos. Clearing the streets after the demonstration, burnt cars, business owners reacting to cover the windows, and all this area under a tense situation. So a lot of concerns, a lot of damage in property.
La zona de Champs-Élysées y del Arco de Triunfo, muy preocupado. Este trabajador, Ali Josip, dice, no tenemos otra opción, tenemos que hacerlo. Si no protegemos los
we need to do so. If we don't protect this, they will destroy everything. This is for sure. We've already made a request to the municipality, and they told us, well, they gave us an authorization to do so, and we can work until 10.
La protesta que queda, ¿no?
This is whatever's left. Graffitis. We need the Republic. No, we don't need the Republic. The owner said, I understand the movement of the yellow vest, but this is unacceptable. 3 weekends have gone by so far. Take a look at everything around you. Everything is broken. Everything is destroyed. All stores have to close down and pay money to secure this. This is happening every week, and we are losing our business. And at the end of the day, no one understands what's happening, what they want. There's no organization, and all companies in the area need to pay for the broken stuff. And it's a difficult time. We need to look beyond. Some take a look at their own business that have been secured with the special measures. Starbucks, graffiti on the building. Take a look at this Starbucks. So, shattered glass everywhere. Resign Macron, a person cleaning the graffiti on the walls, some people in the streets. The security glasses were able to hold something, but not everything. The bus stops. Take a look at what's left of it. How will they be able to protect themselves from snow and rain? Flags hanging from statues. The public square, asking for money to be returned. Lions in the statue, graffiti, lions, everything covered in graffiti. They didn't respect anything, not even the lions were free. A lot of graffiti, including the lions. I don't know if Macron's resignation is necessary, but salaries need to increase, and the taxes for the poor need to be reduced. So this is a question for the people with low salaries who are facing a lot of problems for most of the things.
Very big problems for everything.
Grafitis hasta en los cruces contra Macron.
Graffiti against Macron. People trying to wipe out this graffiti, some of them quite offensive. Demonstrators left the trail of disasters around this in the windows. This insurance company, this scooters and cars were set on fire, furniture in the street also destroyed, and all this graffiti. Macron meets with his ministers, members of the unions and local politicians, trying to look and find a way to solve the crisis of the yellow vests. Ministers and politicians
and
Macron at the meeting to speak about this. What should we do with yellow vests?
Tienen ahí al ministro de Agricultura, Didier Guillaume,
There's Didier Guillaume, the Minister of Agriculture, also Christophe Catanier, Agnès Buzyn,
al de Presupuesto, Gérard Romain, otro que llega tarde.
Someone else getting there late.
Presidente de la Asamblea Nacional, Richard Lebrun, llegando. Presidente de la Asociación de Alcaldes Franceses, François Baron, llegando.
François Baron also arriving.
Presidente del Senado francés, a continuación,
the President of the Senate.
Llegando. Secretario General de la Unión de la CFDT, Laurent Berger.
As Secretary.
Presidente de la Unión de Profesores.
A member of the Teachers Union.
Bernadette Groison.
President
francés Emmanuel Macron,
French President Emmanuel Macron gathered members of the union, as well as the ministers, representatives of mayors, at the Palace of Champs-Élysées, and there are no cars left at the Esplanade. This was before the moment where the president is set to send an answer to the crisis. Yellow vests, after protesting for 4 weeks already, criticism on this. Some say that they have turned the palace into a bunker, where he is taking shelter. The ministers want to stop the yellow vest with the speech. And he's only been in office for 18 months so far. All the people important have arrived here, not walking, but with their cars. So no risks taken.
El ministro de Agricultura,
the Minister of Agriculture, Didier Guillaume, the Minister of the Interior, Christophe Castanet,
el de Presupuesto, Gérald Darmanin,
the Budget Minister, Gérald Darmanin, Ecology, François Derry,
el contador de gobierno, Benjamin Griveaux,
and the accountant, Benjamin Griveaux,
Richard Ferrand,
and Richard Ferrand,
de la Asamblea Nacional,
of the National Assembly,
Presidente de la Asociación de Alcaldes Franceses, François
Baron,
Baron,
of Mayors, François Baron, the President of the Senate, Gérard Larcher,
Secretario General de la Unión,
Secretary General of the CFDT, Laurent Berger,
el Presidente de la Unión de Profesores,
the President of the Union of Teachers, Bernadette Doisson,
calma y tranquila,
serene and
disfrutando su momento ante las cámaras.
Enjoying
Bueno,
her
Emmanuel Macron
moment.
reunió a los jefes de los sindicatos de empleados y trabajadores, así
Macron
como a los ministros,
gathered the
representantes de los
members of the
alcaldes en el
union,
Palacio del Elíseo,
as well as
como
the
estamos viendo,
mayors
larga llegada.
in the
Aquí
Champs-Élysées
comienzan
Palace.
algunas salidas, ¿no?
And here are some people
Ministro de
exiting.
Finanzas
The
francés,
Finance Minister,
Bruno Le Maire, saliendo del Elíseo, nada. Y acá tenemos a Laurent Berger.
This is Laurent Berger, who
En lo que
said
respecta a la CFDT,
about the
dije que
CFDT,
vivíamos una crisis democrática
mentioned
muy
we're
grave,
going
una crisis
through
social importante,
a
que
social
se está arraigando
crisis
en la desigualdad social y
that's
territorial.
now being seen on
Necesitamos una
inequality.
respuesta de
We
varios
need to have
aspectos
an
y
answer
etapas.
about different
Primero,
aspects and
la
stages.
capacidad de ser
First,
empático
the
y comprender
capacity
lo que está
of
sucediendo
being
y lo que
empathic
sienten
and
algunos de
understand
nuestros
what's happening
conciudadanos, pero
and what some
también
citizens are
los
feeling,
empleados. Esto
but
lo
also
decía
employees.
Laurent Berger,
This was mentioned by
el
Berger,
secretario general de la
the
Unión de
Secretary General of the
Trabajadores de la
Union
CFDT.
of Workers CFDT.
À comprendre ce qui se passe et ce qu'est le ressenti, le vécu d'un certain nombre de nos concitoyens, mais aussi des travailleurs.
Secretario General de la Unión de Trabajadores,
The
Laurent Berger,
Secretary Laurent
no
Berger said
recibimos ninguna información
we did
sobre la
not
respuesta
have
que proporcionará el
any
presidente
information
esta noche
about
contable.
what the president will say tonight.
Évidemment, à la fois beaucoup
Así que escucharemos eso con mucho
So we're
interés y
going to
expectativa,
take
pero
a
también
look
con
at
un
that,
poco de temor, porque no
but we are
estoy,
afraid of
no
the
te mentiré,
answer
dada la situación en la que se encuentra nuestro país hoy, no estoy muy optimista.
because I'm not very
Aquí sale
optimistic
el
provided the
presidente de la
situation of the
región de
country today.
Normandía, Hervé Morin,
This is the Moran
y aquí está Geoffrey Roux,
and Geoffrey
de
Roux
Brussier, de la Unión de
Brussier
Empleados de MEDEF.
of the
En nombre
Union
de
of
las
Workers of
empresas
MEDEF.
y
On
de mí
behalf of
mismo
the
me expresé
companies
la seria
and
preocupación
myself,
que tenemos
I
sobre la
expressed
situación
my serious
económica en varios
concerns about the
sectores y
economic
dificultades,
situation in different
particularmente
sectors,
en el comercio minorista,
especially
transporte, la
for
logística,
minority
hoteles,
transport,
restaurantes, y pedimos
hotels,
medidas de
restaurants,
emergencia que
and
van
we
más
want
allá de las
emergency
soluciones de
measures that
contabilidad
go
simple
beyond the
que el
solutions of
ministro de
simple
Finanzas ya ha
accounting
implementado.
that the finance
También
minister has
recuerdo
already implemented.
que los orígenes de esta revuelta están
Also,
en las
the
presiones
source
fiscales
of
y
this
administrativas en
are
este
due
país
to the
y es
fiscal
necesario enviar
and
una
management
señal esta
pressures in the
misma noche.
country, and we need to send a signal tonight.
Bueno, imágenes de archivo aquí, 16 de octubre de 2018.
October 16,
Los
2018.
líderes sindicales que abandonaron el Palacio del Edificio después de la
Members
reunión
of the union,
maratónica con Emmanuel
after the
Macron,
meeting with
lunes 10
Emmanuel
de
Macron,
diciembre, dijeron que habían sido escuchados,
said
pero
that
que
they
esperaban un
were heard.
discurso muy
However, they
esperado del
wanted
presidente francés para obtener respuestas a la crisis de los chalecos
answers
amarillos.
to the crisis of the yellow
Esperaban
vests.
Macron diera un discurso en televisión a la nación a las 9.
Macron was supposed to speak at 9. However, the members of the union that met with the president delayed things.
Chalecos amarillos,
The yellow
protestas y
vest,
policías
the
en París,
protest,
ministro
the
de
demonstration in
Extranjeros
Paris,
y Relaciones Exteriores, Jean-Yves Le Drian, y el ministro de Justicia francés,
Jean-Yves Le
Nicole
Drian,
Belloubet,
and Nicole Belloubet,
comentando sobre los actos
speaking
recientes.
about current events.
Presidente hablará y
The
resumiremos el
president will
periodo
speak
dicho.
about this and
Bueno,
will
no lo
resume.
sabemos cuándo hablará,
We don't know when
tal
he
vez
will
a
talk,
principios de esta semana, y creo
maybe
que sus
this
ideas serán
week,
suficientemente
and I
fuertes para
hope that
disuadir a los
his ideas will
alborotadores. En
dissuade
cualquier
the
caso,
demonstrators.
personalmente espero que inicie un
I
diálogo.
hope that he will start dialogue, however.
Hay un profundo sentimiento sobre las
There's
desigualdades que se
deep
remontan
feelings
al
about
largo camino,
inequalities,
porque de una u otra forma nos hace
because
sentir
one
que
way or
nuestros
another
esfuerzos
we
siguen
feel that
siendo
our efforts
insuficientes.
are not enough.
Debemos detenerlo y para
We need
eso
to stop
necesitamos
this.
ideas
For this,
sólidas del
we need to have
presidente.
strong ideas coming from the president.
Ni afuera la gente, ni por casualidad.
People
baja la presión.
outside who will not stop the pressure.
Esto, manifestantes de chaleco amarillo en la carretera
Yellow
de
vest
París,
demonstrators at the
oficiales de
street of
policía
Paris,
actuando
police
en las
officers,
carreteras, marcando a los manifestantes.
Alors, si vous voulez, il y a eu hier à peu près
Ministra de Justicia Nicole Belloubet,
Justice
ayer el
Minister
fiscal
Nicole
de
Belloubet
París
said
ocupó alrededor de 1.000 arrestos, de los
there were
cuales
around
900 son
1,000
adultos y
arrests, out
100
of
eran
which
menores de edad.
900 were
En
adults
estos
and the
momentos estamos
rest
tratando unos
were
400
minors.
casos, y
Now
el
we're
resto se
working with
tratará en la
400
tarde de
cases.
hoy.
The rest will be managed this afternoon.
París, otras escenas, varios de
Other
protección contra la
scenes in
policía que se
Paris.
encuentran en el terreno. Ministro de Relaciones Exteriores
The Minister
francés
of Foreign
Jean-Yves
Affairs,
Le Drian, dijo
Jean-Yves Le
el sábado
Drian,
que
said on
espera que el diálogo
Saturday that
abierto
he
calme
expects
las
to have
protestas
open dialogues
de los
to
chalecos
calm
amarillos
the
bastante violentos,
demonstrations
que han
of the yellow
sacudido a la
vests that have
nación.
been quite violent and have shaken up the nation.
Manifestantes violentos de chaleco amarillo serán castigados,
The
dice el fiscal de
demonstrators will
París.
punish according to
Violentas protestas.
members of the
Fiscal
government
de
of Paris.
Remy
Remy
Heitz
Heitz
dice
said
que hechos violentos durante la demostración
this
no se irán
violent
sin
facts
sanción.
with the demonstration will be sanctioned.
La avenida de Champs-Élysées,
The
manifestantes
Champs-Élysées,
patean el gas lacrimógeno que le lanzan.
demonstrators
Fiscal de
kicking the
París,
tear
Remy
gas.
Heitz, dice,
Remy Heitz said,
mi oficina está totalmente
my
comprometida a no
office
dejar
is
que las
committed
atrocidades cometidas en París durante estos días de movimientos queden impunes.
to
No podemos
punish
promover
the
la idea o
atrocities
pensar que es
that
posible
have
venir a
taken
romper
place.
todo,
We
cometer
cannot
actos
accept
de
the idea
violencia en
of
serio
violent
los
acts
sábados, en casa, sin preocuparse, sin pensar
without
lo
being
que harán el
concerned
sistema de
about what's
justicia.
going to happen with the justice system.
Mis pensamientos se dirigen especialmente
My
a todos aquellos
thoughts
que
are
fueron víctimas de estos
especially
actos
with
en
those who were
particular, y,
victims
por
of these
ejemplo, a los dueños
actions,
de negocios quienes
mainly
se les
business
destruyó la
owners
tienda,
whose
se les
stores were
destruyeron sus
destroyed,
posesiones.
as well as their
Tenemos que estar atentos a
belongings.
estas víctimas
We
que están
need to
legítimamente esperando
take
reparaciones.
care of these victims that are
Justicia
waiting for
debe
repairs.
hacerse y debemos hacer
There
todo lo
must
que
be
esté en nuestro
justice, and we
alcance
must do
para que
everything in our
suceda.
reach to make it happen.
Attendent légitimement réparation. Il faut que justice passe et nous ferons tout ce qu'il est en notre pouvoir pour qu'il en soit ainsi.
Fiscal de París, Remy Heitz,
Remy
dice,
Heitz,
los
the
perfiles de las
prosecutor
personas
said,
que fueron
the
arrestadas
profiles of
se
the
parecen
people
mucho a
who
los
were
perfiles que
arrested
hemos observado
are
la
similar
semana
to the
pasada.
profiles
La mayoría
that we've
son hombres
seen last
menores de
week.
40 años, la mayoría
Some
de los
are
cuales no
men,
tienen
and they're
antecedentes
40,
penales
most
y
of them
provienen
with
de varias
no
regiones
criminal record,
francesas
coming
de
from
este a
different
oeste.
regions of France,
Entre
from
ellos hay
east to
perfiles más
west.
notables que vienen de la extrema derecha y
Others
de la extrema
come
izquierda.
from the far right
Parmi
and the
eux,
far left.
des profils plus marqués, issus manifestement de l'ultra-droite ou des rangs de l'ultra-gauche.
Deja el podio final de la conferencia. Los manifestantes
the end
de
of the
los chalecos
conference.
amarillos que iniciaron incendios y
The
escombros siguen
demonstrators
siendo
at
noticia.
fires are still part
Cortesía
of the
de
news.
Rusia
This is
Today.
coming from Russia today.
Minutos de Francia. Trump no
France to
participamos
Trump
en
will
los
not
debates de Estados
participate
Unidos.
in the US
Deje a
debates.
nuestra nación viva fuera de su vida. Francia le dice a
Let our
Trump.
nation away
Esta
from your
declaración
life. This
la ha
statement
hecho, importante, ¿no? La ha hecho el ministro francés de
were
Exteriores,
issued
Jean-Yves
by
Le
the
Drian,
French minister Jean-Yves
en
Le
respuesta
Drian,
a la reciente publicación del
answering the
presidente de Estados
statements
Unidos
of
en
the
su cuenta
president of
de
the States
Twitter.
in his Twitter account.
Benoît Tessier a Reuters le dijo, le digo a Donald Trump,
I tell Donald Trump and the
President
President of the Republic, Emmanuel Macron,
no participamos de los
we
debates
are
de
not
Estados Unidos,
participating in debates of the
deje que
States.
nuestra nación, Francia,
Let our
viva su vida.
nation, France, to live their own life. As is stated by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, under the framework of the interview with the network. This statement is based on the words of Donald Trump on his personal Twitter account, and the French told them not to mess with them because that's their problem. And Donald Trump said, I am extremely sad about the events taking place in Paris. After they find a solution, this is a very sad day. There should be lower taxes according to President Donald Trump. We need to return the money to the people with lower taxes. So he's saying how the French government should negotiate with their people. Based on the statements, Paris mentioned that they want Trump. The French minister said that the yellow vests were not speaking in English, right? Take a look at this white flying swan, a beautiful design for an enormous plane. Today, coming from Últimas Noticias, operational flights from Russia and Venezuela start today.
¡Al hombro!
These flights have the objective of increasing the level of interoperability of the defense systems of Russia and Venezuela. Vladimir Padrino Lopez at the International Airport Simón Bolívar welcome over 100 members of the Russian Air Force who will participate in operational flights between Russia and Venezuela 2018. I'd like to welcome all these men and women, pilots, support personnel, flight crew, the press that are here with this delegation, over 100 men and women of the Russian Federation. We welcome you on behalf of President Nicolás Maduro, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Bolivarian country of the people of Venezuela and the National Armed Forces. Special greetings to the Ambassador, Vladimir Zelensky, who's with us in this ceremony, and also General Sergei Ivanovich Kavalich, Commander of long-range planes of the Aerospatial Force of the Russian Federation. We are all here, the members of the Armed Force, to welcome you to the nation of the leader here and liberator Simón Bolívar and their commander Hugo Chávez. The relations between Russia and Venezuela are being built on real foundations. Beyond cooperation, we've created real friendship. And we're able to see this in the recent visit of President Nicolás Maduro to the Russian Federation, when he spoke about all the topics for cooperation with President Vladimir Putin, who we salute today. It's a friendship that has been built and a cooperation for each area of development, but also it's about military defense. We follow the doctrine of Simón Bolívar. Bolívar said, a world of balance peace. Our commander, Hugo Chavez, used this doctrine and let it shine throughout the world. Our commander-in-chief, Nicolás Maduro, has followed the same line, and we are creating links of diplomacy and peace throughout the world, as well as balance for the rest of the world. These types of exchange of operational flights that we are going to start with the Strategic Command of the Armed Forces have the objective of raising the level of interoperability of the defense systems of Venezuela and Russia. It's an intense exchange. Just 2 months ago, we also welcomed officers and pilots from the Air Force of Russia that were fighting terrorism in Syria. It's also important to mention to the people of Venezuela that we will have a big delegation for the technical military area to improve and change everything needed for the operational management of Russian manufactured weapons. Let no one around the world fear for the presence of these planes, for logistics, for bombing, strategic planes that are now in Venezuelan ground. We are builders of peace, not of war. We are against the presence of imperial bases in the region that had led to a disbalance during the last months and years throughout the whole region, politically and militarily. But also, let's mention, for the people of Venezuela and the rest of the world, that just like we're cooperating with different areas for development for both countries, we are also preparing ourselves to defend Venezuela until the end, if needed. So let's start a new experience. Not so new. In 2013, these planes had already visited Venezuela. We had the chance of sharing. I was a strategic operational commander, but it was a great opportunity. It was a new opportunity to be aligned and to learn the one from the others. So all this crew, all this delegation of the Russian Federation, be warmly saluted by the Bolivarian people, of all the men and women of the National Armed Forces. I would like to thank President Putin and Sergei Shoigu, General, for all your willingness and honesty to continue building this relationship of friendship and cooperation. Welcome. Operational flights represent a demonstration of force that will have the objective of integrating operations from Venezuela and Russia for technical military cooperation and exchange of experiences. There are different spaces of collaboration, and as was mentioned by Vladimir Padrino Lopez, today we're now preparing a new meeting of the Intergovernment Commission with Russia and Venezuela. This is a new effort for starting new projects, and I'm certain that these projects will provide help for the development of mutual relationships between Russia and Venezuela.
Хотел напомнить вам, что данное мероприятие, в принципе, является продолжением того сотрудничества, которое было заложено с 2005 года президентом Боливарианской республики Венесуэла Уго Чавесом и президентом Российской Федерации Владимиром Владимировичем Путиным. Тогда были намечены основные линии нашего взаимодействия в разных абсолютно областях. При этом, как отметил Владимир Падрино Лопес, министр обороны Венесуэлы, Одним из важных моторов этого взаимодействия является межправительственная комиссия высокого уровня. В скором времени пройдет ее очередное заседание, которое, как я уверен, будет способствовать и простимулирует развитие новых проектов, новых усилий в развитии взаимовыгодного сотрудничества между Россией и Венесуэлой.
As it's well known, one of the areas for cooperation is technical and military cooperation that is developing in a very fruitful way during the last years. I would like to say the following. Long live Russia, long live Venezuela, long live friendship between Russia and Venezuela. The words of the General Sergei Ivanovich, commander of the aviation of the Russian Federation.
Товарищ министр обороны, уважаемый господин посол, я хотел бы поблагодарить за то решение, которое было принято и результатом которого явилось выполнение этого дружественного визита.
Minister, Ambassador, I would like to thank you for this idea of these two flights that have arrived to Venezuela.
Российские летчики на самолетах Ту-160 выполнили беспосадочный полет, пролетев над акваторией Баренцева, Норвежского, Атлантического океана и Карибского моря. Продолжительность полета составила 13 часов, при этом летчики преодолели расстояние более 10 тысяч километров.
Our flights have arrived from Russia, going through the waters of the Norwegian Sea, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Caribbean, with no scales. So the flight took 13 hours and 30,000 kilometers.
Летчики взлетали с территории Российской Федерации, где температура уже далеко за минус, а сюда прилетели, где температура на аэродроме составляет больше 30 градусов. Но это не только тепло вашего климата, но это и тепло ваших сердец, с которым вы нас уже второй раз принимаете.
Our flights took off from Russia with temperatures below zero, but we've landed here in Caracas with temperatures over 30 degrees Celsius. It's not only the weather in Caracas, but also the warmth of the hearts of the Venezuelans that greet us here in the Maitiki airport.
В 2013 году стратегические ракетоносцы уже совершали посадку на аэродромах Венесуэлы. В этот раз мы решили совместно с руководством страны и Министерства обороны нашу программу немножко расширить.
It's not the first time. In 2003, two Russian planes came here. But now, following the orders of the defense minister, we've decided to broaden our collaboration.
Надеемся, что результатом этого будет обмен опытом между летным инженерно-техническим составом в организации и проведении полетов.
We hope that the result that will await us will be deep exchange of experiences from the pilots and the technical staff as well.
И как сказал на двухсторонней встрече министр обороны Российской Федерации, генерал армии Сергей Кужевертович Шойгу, это пойдет на пользу и Венесуэле и России. Благодарю за внимание.
And like the defense minister of Russia said, and General Sergei Shoigu, May this be fruitful for both, for Russia and Venezuela.
Спасибо.
Thank you very much. The event caught the attention of all the international media and correspondents. Strategic bomber planes, and there was a demonstration of 30,000 kilometers of direct flight. Authorities were invited on board. Tomorrow, at 2 p.m., there will likely be open doors for some aficionados. This is still not certain, but some mentioned this. So the message is strong and clear. This is a prototype that has gone through all maneuvers and tests possible, and it's a nightmare for the NATO. The tough time where one side says to the other. Either way, it's an important nuclear plane. So it's basically a message that we're sending to the neighborhood. We're not alone. We've never been in our beloved, polluted, and unique spacecraft. And we will return after it has taken another turn about the Maria accident. We come back to Studio 3 of Venezuela Televisión to tell you the story of the next 24 hours. This was Walter Martinez, your producer and host. And I hope that we can welcome the solidarity. So my team, how was this? How was this? This is part of the world news now. Very, very important, with different interpretations. Some people may be upset. We are very calm, however. But this shows the broad scale of the solidarity that Venezuela always gets under any circumstance. So whatever you may be on that side of the screen, thank you for allowing us to be there with you. We will be tomorrow, after our beloved, polluted, and unique spacecraft had taken another turn about the Maria axis. And we're here to tell you the story of the next 24 hours. This was Walter Martinez, producer and host of Dossier. Director, the floor is all yours.